We just launched a new advertising campaign and it is a dope process. And in this video, I'm going to show everything that goes into creating and making a campaign. So start with the goal. What's the end goal? Don't get lost in unimportant metrics. For us in this campaign, it's closed won new members. Once you know your goal, then it's the raw material. What's the inspiration? What's our angle? How do we fit into people's feeds? In this case, we tested two formats, me talking into a camera spokesperson style, and then a more ad format with like a hook and B-roll. After you get the inspo, then it's the copy, and great copywriting sells. What problems are people having that you solve? Write about something that I care about and not what makes your brand so great. For example, in our case, wanting to strength train without getting hurt. Then you've got your copy ideas. Now you got to test them. Testing removes bias. It's about what the market thinks is a good idea, not what I think is a good idea. So how do we test this? For how long do we test this? And how much data is going to be enough data? Once you got that, you got to remember you got to keep it fresh. So you got to have enough ideas. We're brick and mortar, so we're geo-targeted to a small radius, right? So we got to keep pumping creative to allow that frequency in front of the prospect not to get stale. Once we've got our ideas, then we got to produce them with the video. And so think of a great script delivered by a horrible actor. It's going to suck. So you got to act it out well. Conviction sells. Great copy and great presentation sells. Don't make it fancy, because when I see a fancy ad, my brain says skip. Then once you get someone's attention with the creative, you generate the lead, capture that thing, minimize friction, keep the prospect on the platform. Now you got the lead, now you got to nurture the lead. So what happens once you generate it? Have a firm grasp on your pipeline and your goals. So what's the customer journey? Lead generated, connected, appointment booked, appointment shown up, post-appointment steps, trial expired, closed won, closed lost. And what's your follow-up process if no one responds to that initial outreach, right? And then, holy smokes, you've actually got someone to show up. Each touch point is a place to impress somebody or disconnect them. And everyone working at your gym has to know these leads are gold. If you F this up, you're fired. No, I'm kidding. But what's your system? And importantly, can all your staff execute it? Once you got this whole system rolling, you need to monitor the thing. And this is where you're checking in weekly. Like, hey, how many leads do we have? Are we connecting with people? How does this compare to the previous week? And I think data integrity is huge here. You have to be able to trust your data. But in my experience, it's really hard to have that clarity. So work hard, minimal human intervention. Just have it all automated if you can. Then once you start getting to the end of the campaign, you've got your review. And this is like 3-6 months, however long you're doing it. And you're looking in terms of, hey, customer acquisition costs. How much did we spend? How much did we get? Where did they come from? Did one creative generate more than another? And what's your ROI and your multiple? We spent this much, but with LTV, we get this much back, right? And then I also like to add a written narrative. So 6 months from now, I'm going to come back to this campaign. I'm going to forget everything that I did. But if I had a written narrative, it's that time where I just like write a mini essay that crystallizes all my thoughts and learnings. It helps me capture like insights and stories and details that spreadsheets can't. And it's just a bit more of storytelling, right? And they're transparent, which builds trust. So if you have to campaign for other folks to get resources like business partners, or if you want to spend it on an event, but you think you should spend it here, having those narratives can just be a lot more helpful in your persuasion process.